Welcome to the YNE podcast.
When we came to this country, I mean, what we used to believe to be work, has really changed in probably in the last 6 years. What we used to think that is work, the traditional work job, going to school, graduating, go get a job with a company. They give you 401k, you have a salary, you have benefits, we've seen it change in the last 5 years. A lot of people deciding, what, college is not for me. Maybe I can chart a path for myself, maybe do social media, become an influencer, start a business, since the social media is almost a lot easier to grow business and to start a business and generate, you know, customers for yourself. So what do you think is happening? What do you think is driving this thing, and why do you think people are just choosing to take this route, to become their own boss and then control their own time and control how much they can make?
Yes, thank you for that question. I mean, we as individuals, we've evolved over the years. So is our work. So are the things that, make our lives better. And I would like to say that COVID changed work, especially when it comes to flexibility of going out there to make money. Before COVID, a lot of people out there were working hard, trying to make ends meet, trying to feed their families, trying to live a good life. When COVID came, it brought light to a lot of things that are necessary and a lot of things that are not super necessary. And one of the things is flexibility. A lot of people would rather take a pay cut and be flexible in their working hours, maybe get a remote job or get an hybrid job where they're required to go to work maybe 2 or 3 days a week compared to working 5 days a week, traveling. If you live in a big city or you have to deal with traffic, that has changed since the beginning of COVID. I know things are starting to go back to normal. Employers are starting to uh, bring back their employees into the office. And that was pushed a lot by the local politicians, the local community, because when people don't go out, they don't spend money. When they don't spend money, other people doing businesses, selling foods, other essential items don't make money. And the government don't get their own cut. They don't get their tax from it. So it's been a very dicey situation. But again, work has always evolved. Back in the old days, people will farm. A lot of people are not doing farming today. A lot of people would rather get an office job. A lot of people would like a job that will be flexible with their schedule or whatever, with whatever they've got going on in their family. A lot of people prefer flexibility over money. Flexibility is important, especially if you have young children that you need to take care of. If you don't have any other family members around you that can help you watch your kids or help you go drop your children off at the bus stop or help you wake them up. I'm not gonna lie to you, life is hard. It takes a decent salary to be able to sustain a basic life, in the US. And a lot of people that are making their working minimum wage job, they have to work 2, 3 jobs to be able to make ends meet. So flexibility is important when people are looking for job. Over the years, work has evolved. There were little to no flexibility in the past, but in our economy today, in our society today, flexibility has brought a lot of changes. It's brought a lot of changes in regards to how people want to spend the better part of their days, the better part of their lives. A lot of people would rather enjoy lives, move to a cheaper country while working remotely. The work has always evolved and it will always continue to evolve. AI is another thing that we will touch on in a little bit. But I want you to also chime in and let us hear your take on the concept of work and how work has evolved over the years.
I mean, you are not wrong. I mean, you took time to explain the whole thing in detail, the reasons why people will prefer flexibility over money. And another thing is people just want to control their own destiny. They just want to be in the driver's seat of their life. They want to control how much they can make, how long they want to work, and how much they want to make. The concept of work has really changed because, um, in this day and age, a lot of people do not want to be bossed around. They don't want somebody to be telling them what to do. And coupled with the COVID, everybody stayed home. That actually gave the people opportunity to rethink, what they think, to be the traditional way of life. People discovered that they could just, sit in the comfort of their home, make videos, become an influencer, do freelancing, become a contractor, actually to become a contractor to companies. And I think it's a good thing, but the sustainability is what I don't understand. If this is going to be sustainable, because we can say that the thing is not really affecting companies, because now you and I know that it's really, really difficult for, companies to staff, to have a decent staff and reliable people to work for them. And that has led a lot of companies to be, going the route of AI. AI never gets sick, but especially robots. Robots don't get sick. They don't take personal time. They don't take a vacation. It's almost like a one-time investment, one-time big investment, and that investment, you can write it off as business expenses. The work is changing because people, want to enjoy their life. People have realized that, a lot of us don't really have a lot of, time on this earth. So the little time we have on this earth, we just enjoy it rather than spend it, working, work, and stuff like that. So I don't really blame people because, for the part that they want to control their own destiny. But I do also think that this is going to be sustainable. I'm not sure what you think about it.
Yeah, I agree with you that a lot of people want to control their destiny. A lot of people want to control how much they work and how much money they make, which had its disadvantages and also its advantages. In regards to the sustainability of the kind of work we're seeing today, we all know that, especially in the gig and economy, you can't be wealthy driving Uber. You can't be wealthy driving Lyft. You can't be wealthy doing any sort of side gig, but it'll give you some kind of stability in the meantime until you're able to find something permanently that would make you a lot of money. So I agree with you, gig economy, gig jobs are not there to sustain you for a very long time, especially if you're putting in a lot of work. It's going to tell on your body. It's gonna tell on whatever resources you're using, whether it's your car. Your car will require more maintenance than necessary compared to when you're just driving it for leisure. Yeah, but you have the ability to control your hours. You have the ability to control when you go to work, when you start, when you sleep, when you take care of your family members or take care of other things that are also important to you. So yeah, agree. It's not sustainable, but in the meantime, it's gonna pay the bills. It's gonna set you up for you to know what you're gonna do in the next few years. It's gonna be a bridge to get you to where you need to be. Another thing I also want to talk about is the younger ones, the folks coming up beyond. I read a research a while back saying a lot of young people out there would rather do work that are impacting lives, work that are making social changes in their community. Even if they're not making money or being wealthy doing it, they want to do something impactful. They want to be able to add to their community, add value to the society, and not just continue the status quo of working for one company for 30 years, retiring and getting some pension. And a lot of employers out there are not making it any easier too, because they've cut back on those benefits that made the older generation stay with the company for a very long time. So there's no incentive for you to stay with the company for more than 10 years, I would say, compared to, in the past, where a lot of people have been incentivized to stay with a company for a very long time. Unless you're, an executive in a big company where your pay or a portion of your bonus is tied to how long you stay in the company. So we're going to continue to see this trend in the nearest future.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And there are two other things that I think that is driving this shift. One of them, you almost touched on it, but is companies cutting back on the benefits. In fact, I think there used to be in the time past there used to be like companies that used to with pay for childcare, but now they don't. Childcare is another factor that has really, really impacted a lot of families and has made them to make some you know. Some big change or make some very serious decisions as far as work is concerned. Because let's face it, if I'm making only $60,000 a year and I'm spending, I have two children that is in daycare, and on each of them I'm spending 250, 500, 2,000 in a month for two of them. I would rather stay home and take care of them and not work, or rather my wife stay home and not work and take care of these children. Because if you're spending 2,000, in fact, you'll probably be borrowing money to supplement, to add to your salary, because that your salary, 60,000 will not be enough to be paid for that childcare. So the childcare has really, really impacted families significantly and has led them to make, that decision that, what, instead of me to work, to go and sit down, drive to this job, and they are not helping me out. In fact, even though I spent 15 years there, companies are not loyal again. A lot of employees are loyal, but a lot of companies have dropped the ball. In fact, I have a very typical example in my job. One day they said they want to feed the employees. My boss brought pizza with a paper towel. I was pissed. I took a picture and, in fact, that picture is still on my phone. Brought, slice of pizza, wrap them in paper towel, and, just put it on the table in the break room. I was pissed, and none of my employees touched that pizza because they were pissed too. People that are working for you, I know, yeah, you pay them, but you have to show them some level of respect and, show some recognition that these people are actually working for you. Yes, I understand that you're paying them. I understand that they sign up for the job, but I mean, if they're not there, you're not going to make money. So give them some respect. So yeah, the childcare has affected the way people see work, and companies that are no longer loyal, rolling back all these benefits, has really made people to rethink their life and then maybe decide to take, to go their own route and then choose, be in control of their destiny.
Yes, I definitely agree with you on the point you raised about childcare. Childcare in America is super expensive. I know a family friend who spends $20,000 a year on childcare for two kids. That's a lot of money. And you don't have any family members around that can support you, help you take care of your, little kids. It can get very expensive. And the government is now, really helping because they put a limit on how much the people that can get the support can make. So if people want to work, they got to make sure they stay below a threshold if they want to qualify for the benefit. And the real people that need that benefit, they don't get it. But we have corporate welfare for big companies, for wealthy companies out there. But the real Americans that are doing the work, the real people that are making the organizations, making businesses money, they don't get the benefit. And it'll lead me to recognition. Recognition at work is very important. I agree with you that even if the pay is good, it's important to at least recognize your people, recognize your employees once in a while. Let them know you appreciate them. And the way to do it is buying them food. Everybody loves food, right? It's not like they can't afford to feed themselves, but it's a way of showing appreciation. And I've come to realize that, you can recognize people by not just food, but by really, affirming what they're doing. If you see them doing something right, you let them know, hey, I see you doing that right. Kudos to you. And especially if you're working in a warehouse and your people are working safe. When employees work safe, it helps the company. The company doesn't have to worry about paying insurance bill on folks that are out on disability or things like that. So there's this saying that you reward what you want to be repeated. You reward what you want people to repeat. So if you want them to repeat good behaviors, you recognize them when you see them doing good behaviors. But it's unfortunate that a lot of companies are cutting back and they're not really showing love to all the employees. And I don't think it's helping their morale either.
Yep. Yep. I definitely agree with you. And with all of these things, how do you think companies, businesses are responding to this shortage of, workers?
I believe they don't care. Instead of hiring more workers to save money, they will have one employee doing 3 or 4 people's job and, still push them to get more done without paying overtime. So I don't think companies out there, I don't think they care. It's all about the profit. They want to make money, which is good. Which is good. A lot of people out, especially the executives. I don't think the companies are going to change unless the government passes a law to restrict their profit, which cannot be done in a capitalist economy. So we'll continue to see the increasing gap between the poor and the wealthy in America until the government decides to step in. So if you're a union employee, your job is somewhat secured, your benefit is somewhat secure, they can't cut it unless your union leaders are playing ball with the executives. It is what it is. You just got to find a way to live with it or have our government do something about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a big fan of government stepping in to regulate the market. I so much believe in free market, but I know with the free market comes with the tendency of people trying to undercut the market, trying to play the market to their advantage, like price gouging and stuff like that, people making excessive profit. But, a lot of them actually try to put them back in the community, but a lot of them, they are just focused on their investors and then on their shareholders. They want to deliver, they want to have a positive outlook, before the shareholder. So, like I said, I'm not really a big fan of government trying to step in to control the market. I believe in free market, but I also believe in free market with morality. People should have moral to do, the right thing. The lack of people to work that are available to work is really, really important companies because, in fact, it leads to high turnover because when people come through the door and they just spend like, let's say hypothetically 2 months and they leave, you are going to hire somebody else again and it keep going. And due to that, people don't get proper training to do the job. And when people are not properly trained, they get frustrated and the quality would be in decline. And then you as an employer, you'll be frustrated and then you will let these people go. Is either you let them go or they leave on their own. And then the cycle continues. And I think on an average, they said it takes, it costs about $7,000 to hire and train, a warehouse worker, not a professional worker, a warehouse worker. So on average, it costs about 7,000. And most companies are constantly hiring, and the way they're hiring is the way they're hiring. So because of, people that have chosen to chart their own path, start a business, become like a influencer, doing their own thing. People can produce their own music now. You don't have to go through the record label. You can produce your music and market it. You can produce your own movie now and market it. So long you have the funds and you have people to support you. So due to that, a lot of companies are missing out on talents. People are not ready to work, and the ones they see, they can't really do the job, and they are barely qualified. And you bring them in because you are experiencing a huge turnover. You don't have a lot of time to train these people. You just put it into the production floor. The quality, everything they will do, will suffer because they are not trained. And you will be frustrated, they will be frustrated, and then they will leave. You will thank your God if they don't bring a lawsuit for terminating them. You're just lucky they don't bring the lawsuit. So I think everything is connected. People are not ready to work. The people you see, you can't train them properly because you are so much in a hurry to have them producing, and everything goes downhill from that.
Well, I disagree with what you said about people don't want to work. If people don't want to work. There's a reason they don't want to work. And I'm not sure it's because of the benefits that they're getting from the government. I know this idea started becoming mainstream during COVID, that because a lot of people got stimulus checks, they didn't want to work. There were a lot of jobs out there, but not enough people to fill. But my own take on this issue is, if you want people to stay, pay them what they're worth. Pay them very well. If they're paid very well, it will motivate them to stay. It'll motivate them to do a better job for you. You get what you pay. If if you're chipping out on talent, you're gonna get poor talent. If you're trying to, do a walk around your house, you should hire a professional instead of someone by the roadside that can do the job cheaper. At the end of the day, it'll cost you more. It's common sense. You want people to stay, pay them very well. You pay them very well, and they're not showing up, then we know it's another problem entirely. People want to work. They just don't want to do hard work for a cheap labor. A lot of companies out there in 2025 are still starting people out with minimum wage, and they'll complain they're not getting good talent. We can go to other companies out there that are starting people at like $20-something an hour with the same qualifications. All you need is GED, right? Your high school diploma. That's all you need. So if I have a high school diploma, I want to go work for people that will pay me $20-something, instead of people that will pay me $10 or $7 or whatever the minimum wage is in your state. So I believe people want to work. They just haven't seen something to motivate them to stay at the work. Because work today is hard, and there are a lot of things that people can do that's easier than standing on their feet for 8 hours, for 10 hours, for 12 hours. That would definitely pay more. So it's all about the way you see it. It's all about the kind of talent you want to attract. And if you're not getting good talent, there's a reason for it. Pay them very well, increase the study rate, and you see a little good talent flock to your organization.
Yeah, I mean, you are very correct. But I don't really see paying people, when you bring people and you pay them $30, if your company is paying very well, does not mean that, good talents will come for that job, You can still have mediocre people apply for that job and they still get it and they turn out to be mediocre. You are paying good does not mean you will attract good talent, okay? That's what I think. That's my opinion. And two, when I say people don't want to work, I'm saying there are a lot of people that have decided to do their own thing, like be on the social media, content creation, become influencer. Those people are not there again. So it reduces the number of people in the, that are available to work. And then the rest of the population, a lot of them, like you rightly said, they want a good paying job, but what they will give you, is it equivalent to what you'll be paying them? That's the question. I have seen a lot of employees that I think they should be making $10. I also have employees that I think they should be making $40. Everybody is not the same. Some are mediocre. No matter how you try to motivate them, they're still not going to be there. There are people that, in fact, you will not see them. They don't get in your face. You probably stay like a whole week. You don't see them because you have no reason to talk to them, because they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. But there are people that you need to be saying, like, you need to know their whereabouts every 5 minutes. Like, every 10 minutes, you need to know what this person is doing. There are people, employees, that you will just give assignment, hey, go do this, okay? And you don't have to check on them. They will do it because you know they will do it. There are people that you will say, hey, go and move this thing. You really have to go back there and make sure he's doing it. So I think everybody deserves good pay, but you really want to make sure that what you are giving back in return for that good pay is almost equivalent or more than, what you're getting paid for.
Okay. Well, when you said paying well, it doesn't mean that you're going to get quality talents or quality people. Well, that might be so, but at the same time, your turnover rate will significantly decrease, because when you're paying well, you're going to attract people that are willing to work, people that want the money. So people like that will be motivated to work overtime. They'll be motivated to do work for the organization. So saying paying well doesn't equal to quality work, that might be right to some extent. At the same time, it's going to balance it up and reduce your turnover rate. The organization will be happy, and they'll put in a process to make sure a lot of people are being efficient in whatever they're doing.
I know you already touched on this before. So what advice do we have for for people coming? Because now it looks like we are caught up in this fight. The people coming behind us, what advice do we have for them? Like, do we advise them to chart their own path? At this point, does going to college really worth it again? Because spending maybe $60,000, $70,000 to acquire a degree, and you come out, you graduate, there is almost, a job. Like we said the other day, sometimes you really need to put at least, you find yourself putting in like 500 applications to actually land like, a couple of interviews. And those interviews don't even turn out to be productive. Some of them will ghost you. At this point, is it really worth it to go to college? Do we advise people to, look at other options like UPS, become a UPS driver because it's really paying right now. Look into other things. Maybe go learn a trade, become a HVAC technician, maybe look into other things. Maybe start, creating content. What do we tell them?
Well, I would say good luck to them, because it's not going to get easier. But if you're going to go to college, if college is your path, I would say go to college, do something that will make you money in the long run. Don't try to go do easy courses in college that you struggle with when you're trying to get a job. Get something out there, get degrees out there, maybe be a medical doctor, do something in the STEM field, do something in the healthcare industry. I know there are shortages of nurses out there. If that's your path, get a degree that can make you money. Don't get a degree that will be a disadvantage to you when you graduate. And if you feel like college is entertaining, go out there, go to trade school, join the military, do something to benefit yourself, learn a skill that will help you become a productive member of the society. So, not going to college is not a problem. If you don't want to go to college, it's okay, but you got to do something else. You got to at least, if you're going to do content creation, I don't think that's a sustainable way to make money. But if you can quickly make money and, go do something else, that's also an option. You just have to leave your options open as a young person. Work is evolving. Chart a course, chart a path that will be easier for you and be agile. Get ready to change when changes come.
Yeah, I think that's a very good advice. If you think college is not for you, maybe look into in the direction of trade school, go to trade school. You earn while you learn, and immediately you finish learning, you're going to get a bump in your pay. And, you could go work for FedEx, as a driver. You could go learn, get a CDL. I think the options are endless, There are other things to look into. But if you must go to college, like Yemi said, make sure you go do something that will be around for a long time, okay? Maybe be a medical doctor, be an engineer, okay? Be a nurse. Just do something that will have a very, very good return on investment. It's not something that will take you forever, to get a job. I really appreciate the teachers, my children teachers. I really appreciate them. But a lot of time I'm confused. I try to understand why you want to study to be a teacher and you end up going to private school and spending almost $120,000 to acquire a degree to become a teacher. I mean, I have a lot of respect for them. I can't do their job. I cannot do their job for real. Sometimes I get exhausted with my two children, not to talk of being in the class with, let's say 15 or 20 of them. I cannot do it. But I also do not understand why a lot of them always take the path of private school, spend $120,000 to get a degree and end up becoming a teacher. I don't really think that's a good financial decision, but I mean, it's up to them. They know why they're doing that. But I see a lot of them, they do that. They go to private schools for their degree and they end up becoming a teacher. I don't really understand.
Yeah. I mean, the teaching profession should be one of the highest paid professions out there because they do a lot of work helping kids with disability, helping kids who are not disabled, dealing with 20, 25 students every day for 5 days. That can be tiring. And some kids are brat. Some kids are not well trained. They don't know how to behave. It's one of the things that can actually discourage people from going into the teaching profession. But I know in some areas when they get the teaching job, maybe some of the communities, some of the uh, teaching or teachers union help pay down the student debt. If you work for the government if you work for the government, when you graduate, they can take care of your loan. I believe you have to work for them for about 10 years before they can forgive your loan. So a way for teachers to get their loan forgiven is to work for the government for 10 years. And a lot of people, before they go for teaching, before they go into the teaching profession, they know that's what they want to do. They know it's their calling because it requires a lot of patience. It requires a lot of talent, a lot of willingness to want to work with children, especially with children that are not your own. So it takes a lot of work, and I'm sure their mindset is already set at doing what they want to do. It's about doing what they love, impacting other people's children, impacting the upcoming generation. So I don't blame them. That's what they want to do. It's what they love to do, and it helps everybody out. And I think it should be one of the most paid professions out.
I mean, I agree with you, but my only problem is I don't know why they go get that degree from private school, that they spend the exorbitant amount of money to acquire the degree. And like I said, I have a lot of respect for them, okay? But yeah, that part I don't understand.
Yeah, big respect to them. And, if they want to go to private school, as long as they have a plan on how to pay for their student loan, it'll work out at the end of the day. Or maybe they want to go to the path of loan forgiveness by working with the government. That's another option as well. So it's all up to them. Any final comments before we wrap up?
I mean, work has changed. You really need to be flexible and change with time. What we used to know as work before, like 5, 10 years ago, has really changed, dramatically. So, keep your heads up and be ready to change with time. There'll be a whole lot of changes coming out, and I don't think we will ever go back to what it used to be 5, 10 years ago. So just keep anticipating because it's going to get worse, I think.
Yeah, just want to encourage everyone out there, be agile, be open to change. If one career is not working out for you, try another thing that will make you money. Stay safe out there. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe. Help us get to that goal of 1,000 subscribers. And let us hear your opinion, comment, and we'd love to hear from you. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
and have a good day.
Bye.